aren't being told, or whoever reads this book, you are not being told to believe in ghosts or not believe in ghosts. You're just being told, these are the possibilities, this is how it works. Make your own mind up as you go along. And the idea that you're allowed to change your mind.
Well, absolutely, and I think that's so crucial, that keeping an open mind. But also, just, you know, for a long time, we've told kids that adults should have ghost stories. Ghost stories are for adults, they're scary. And actually, if you look at ghost stories through a kid's eyes, they take you into all these realms, into science and history and how our universe works. And they're just detective stories. And I think that's what drew me to it as a kid. I love detective stories. I love this idea of this puzzle of making sense of the universe and how we work as human beings. And also, I love the idea of time travel. And ghosts are like time travel. It's the past coming back to us. And what would you say to a Victorian if you could meet one, or a Tudor if you could meet one? I was told a story the other day about a caveman ghost. Not too far from here, in fact, in Stockport. Somebody looked out their window, saw a caveman running across a football field, chasing a deer, throwing a spear at a deer. And, you know, that, I mean, what is going on there? Is that a hallucination? Is that a time slip? Is that the past coming back to life? Moments like those, I think, really grab kids' imagination.
Or is it just someone who happens to be dressed in a loincloth?
It's possible, like
just hanging
a caveman cosplayer. It could be, absolutely.
Could be. Got to think of other explanations.
Yeah, always asking. Team skeptic,
in relation
always.
to children and ghosts, the two things are true, aren't they? Children, and I'm going to generalise here, they love facts. Children love facts, but they also love stories. So this book, in a way, sits between places, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, totally. And also, lots of ghost stories feature kids as well. Like, if you look at one of the most famous British hauntings, the Enfield haunting, which, you know, it's been in horror movies, you could consider that as very scary. It's got kids at the heart of it. It's got an 11-year-old and a 14-year-old at the heart of it. And one of the things that happens is a Lego brick flying across the room, perhaps propelled by a ghost, we don't know, perhaps propelled by a human being, depending on how you look at it. But things like that, kids can really latch onto and try and make sense of. So, yeah, I think, you know, these are all stories about our world. There's a story about a kind of Second World War fighter pilot, potentially. There are stories about, you know, a haunted toilet in a school, you know, so lots of things that kids can be drawn into.
I like the way you got your own children involved in this book.
Oh, yeah.
Because there is a picture, isn't there, of a girl apparently being flung up into the air.
This is the Enfield case of, Janet Hodgson seemingly flying through the air.
So, and there's a photograph of it. So you got your children to jump off their beds?
To recreate this moment, basically. I wanted to prove... I was like, can we capture a moment here that looks like you are flying, you know, and putting it to the test? So I literally made my kids jump up and down on their bunk bed, which probably was a sort of health and safety issue, potentially. But it was great, you know, and my kids feature in a lot of the uncanny stuff.
But it shows the enthusiasm that can be brought about it. I didn't know that, you know, when you draw a ghost when you're a child, you draw... like that, yeah?
A bedsheet ghost, yeah.
But there's a reason for that.
There is.
And I never knew this.
So this is the thing. This is the kind of thing I've been learning writing this book. But we used to bury people in shrouds. You know, we generally don't these days. But in the old days, people believed that you wore a shroud. That's how you would come back as a ghost. And so lots of robbers would go out wearing shrouds, go out try and rob people, pretending to be a ghost. And lots of people thought they really were ghosts. And so it spread. People believed that ghosts always wore shrouds. And then you get it on in plays and on TV and film, and suddenly we think ghosts wear bedsheets, you know.
Is it just me, or Danny, that child ghosts are the scariest?
Yeah.
I don't know, there's something about a child ghost.
A creepy Victorian child, definitely.
Or in, you know, more modern movies. There was Shining, wasn't there?
No,
it was
okay,
the whole thing with the two sisters, with the twins in the corridor. I don't know.
Well, very eerie, but also very poignant as well, I think. And quite a few of the cases we've featured on Uncanny do feature kind of people seeing Victorian children. And it's really interesting because, obviously, what are these things? If it's paranormal energy, are we just bringing a lot of ourselves to it? The way we interpret it, we live in Victorian houses, we can presume that these ghosts must be Victorian. I went back and researched, what did the Victorians see? They saw Tudor ghosts. You know, it's interesting. You have a lot of cultural baggage you bring to it, but...
It's worth saying as well, though, isn't it, Dan? Sorry, that some people find the idea of ghosts, or literally thinking they can see them and feel them, reassuring.
Really
it's
comforting,
a nice thing.
And that is the paradox, that, you know, we often want our ghost stories to be scary. We love feeling thrilled, but actually the ghosts that you want to see are the comforting ones. And when I do my tour around the country and people tell me their stories in the theatre, the ones that are most powerful are where someone's talking about having lost someone and feeling they had contact.
Do you?
Do I believe? You see, you would think that somebody written a book called Do You Believe in Ghosts would have an answer to that, right? But I am torn. I'm stuck in the middle, and I would love it.
Today, where are you veering towards, yes or no?
I've been on this journey, I think, since, if you listen to my early podcast, you hear a more skeptic me. I've been on this journey of discovery, and I think you can't be exposed to the kind of stories I've been exposed to and not have it chip away at you. I can't explain the things that people tell me, and that kind of keeps me awake at night. I would love to believe in this. It's a form of magic. The idea that there is something more, that death is not the end. I love it. And that idea of time travel, you know, that is... Yeah. I was the kid who read books about ghosts in the school library. Now I'm kind of doing that for another generation. But it all goes down to that idea of the past coming back to life, of these figures returning again. I love it.
Danny Robbins, lovely talking to you today. Danny's new book called Do You Believe in Ghosts is out now.
We didn't even bother with any sound effects. Just